Hello to anyone who's watching this. If you are, thank you very much. You're watching a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and plays tabletop role-playing games online. You can find all the stuff the Gauntlet does at gauntlet-rpg.com with lots of things involving with the indie tabletop role-playing space. PBTA, OSR, story games, GMS games, all that fun stuff. There's blogs, there's forums, there's like an extensive podcasting network. There's the zine that the Gauntlet puts out called Codex, which usually has supplements to existing games and original games in itself. And there's also the Hangouts calendar to which this game and a bunch of others is arranged. Check it out. It's like 100+ games usually on that calendar. Um, this is the seventh session of our ongoing Blades in the Dark open table campaign. For those who don't know, Blades in the Dark is a game by John Harper about criminals, scoundrels, rogues trying to make it on top in an industrial fantasy city. But we are using Sean Nittner's Vigilantes playset, which reframes that into freedom fighters, um, still rogues, but instead of looking out for themselves, they're looking out for each other and everyone else. They're here to protect those who cannot protect themselves. They're here to make sure that people live their lives free of strife and anything that could oppress them. So that's what the Vigilantes does. We've had quite quite some adventures with our specific group with the Twilight Patrol. So I'm just gonna get folks to introduce themselves and their character and a cool thing they did, or a cool thing about their character, because we have someone here new who has not been here before, but we're gonna welcome them here today. I should introduce myself because that's good form. Otherwise, who is this babbling baboon with a? Is that why do you have emoji up on his out? And that's a pillow. That's just there to pass judgment on myself and everything we do. Hi, my name's Leandro. Use he him pronouns, and I'm running this game. As evident by the fact that I'm still talking. So I'm gonna go from the usual thing, which is from the top of the Roll20 downwards. So Will, you're up as always. Would you kind of introduce yourself, your character, and the cool thing about them?
So, should I introduce myself? Or yes, cool. So my name is Will. My pronouns are he/him, as are those of my character Solomon Rains, aka Redcoat, the Bluecoat by day, gritting his teeth against the corrupt wheels of a broken machine, and then taking the law into his own hands as Redcoat, the two-fisted, red-coated vigilante of Charhallow.
Yeah, terribly cool, gruff man, has beaten up robots. Robots just can't stand against them. It's ridiculous how this happens. Next, basically, not their second in command. We actually don't know who the leader of this patrol is. It's all equal standing for sure. Sabine's making a face at me. So why don't you introduce yourself, Sabine, and your character?
My name is Sabine. Hi, I use any pronouns. I am playing Dr. Silas Ravenglass. He, him pronouns, also known as the Raven Doctor. He, in his mundane identity, he is a sort of academic of unclear revenue, I guess. He's also a spirit warden, and he is the eponymous Raven Doctor who runs around with lately has been seen running around with with a flock of ravens at his beck and call, seem to obey his mystical commands.
Yeah, I mean, we did see them in Crow's Foot, just being all storm of ravens, scaring the bejesus out of the crows, which is, I think that solves that age-old issue, which are cooler, crows and ravens, apparently ravens. No one can dispute that, especially anyone who's watching this, sorry. But last but not the least, why don't you introduce our new player here? Why don't you introduce yourself, your pronouns, and your character?
Hello, I am Kagum, he, him pronouns. I will be playing Alec Oxa, known as the Tough One. He's a vulnerable convict, a mountain of muscle. He's got jet black eyes because he comes from Tycherosi, and his skin is marked with the scars of all the skirmishes he survived. And pretty much this gentle giant, maybe not with a gentle past, is on a path to redemption through maybe a bit of religion and also trying to stop the sort of crimes which he might have committed in the past. So he's still got connections with the underworld, and he's met some people of the Twilight Patrol through Marlene, the pugilist, because himself during the day, Alec is a pugilist of some kind. That's how he makes his living, by participating some sport fights.
Soon he'll be recruited on the spot fight of justice. I can't believe I just did that. Anyway, before we get into the, the spot fight of justice, standing room only, unfortunately, let's talk about the safety tools that we're using for this session. I'd like to direct folks here to the lines and veils in the handout section. Lines are things that like won't be crossed, just won't show up in fiction at all. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but we're not gonna like concentrate on them. Like it happens off screen, or we're not gonna focus the camera on it. And since it's been a while, as opposed to have a look through those lines and veils, it should be editable to the players, and see if there's anything you want to add. If not, just type OK in the chat, or if you're done adding stuff. Last is because it's been a while since we've had a week off since we were in the session, so weeks are like decades now apparently. So
Yep.
But yeah, if you're all good with that, just type OK in the chat, and then we'll move on. Oh, when I say chat, I'll say the Zoom chat. But the Roll20 chat's good as well because I can hear it. It makes that bloop sound. So either chat's actually pretty good because at least Roll20 will tell me if there's someone's chatting there. The other safety tools that we're using is script change. For those who don't know, it's a series of commands that we can use to like help modulate the flow of the game to better control what's happening. There's three that I would want to explain. First one is rewind. When you rewind, you back up to a specific point in the scene and do the scene over again, avoiding whatever issue led to the rewind and trying a different way. So like, it could be any issue. It could be a name, it could be like the tone of the scene, or even like the premise or the general scene itself. And you don't have to explain why the rewind is happening. And I might ask some questions on what issue is like being rewound, so that we can avoid it. But no one gets the question if the rewind is used. If it's used, we'll respect that and try something else. There's also pause. You can call pause if you need a break, and a break could be any reason. It's part of like the open door policy that we have here in this table. Basically, if you call for a pause, we can call for a break, which it could be like, we're in a tense scene, let's pause and take a breath, or you need a bio break, like you need to walk around, or you need to like use the toilet, or if there's an emergency you need to take care of, like you make a phone call or something, or even like if you need some clarity on what's happening, like you need to like, why are we suddenly doing this and all that, you can call for a pause and just halt the game for a bit, and we'll get everyone up to speed. And there's fast forward, which is kind of like what I talked about with Veils. When you fast forward, you fade to black, and advanced time is needed to avoid content or elements of play, or just to move forward in time. If there's stuff like, we don't need to linger on this, we can just fast forward and move on to the next important part. So now that we're back in the game, just a quick recap what happened last time. Last time, the Twilight Patrol went to war with the Crows after they had successfully repelled a Crow incursion into their turf. There was a street fair. The Crows tried to break it up with their own robot, hull, a ghost-powered robot. Didn't really work out. The Twilight Patrol managed to beat them back, at which point they went to war. And mechanically, that is a thing in Blades where factions can go to war against the crew, and it really makes things suck. But the Crows were on their last legs. They were riven by dissent amongst their two leaders. One of them was named Corvidae. The other one was named Bell because he had a bell. I hope these supervillain gimmicks get better over time. It's like what's that Spider-Man villain? Stilts Man. Guess what? He had stilts. It's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. Or Paste Pot Pete. He had a gun that shoot glue. Yeah, it just shot glue.
Don't forget Condiment King from DC.
Oh, Condiment King. Okay, all right. Okay, well, hopefully we'll find a better class of villain. Sorry, I'm just quoting. Better class of criminal is actually the right quote. Anyway, so the Twilight Patrol decided enough's enough. Let's give those crows what for. Callum, you'll notice that there are no crows in the faction sheet because they got stomped. They got absolutely stomped by the Twilight Patrol, including with help of their friends, the Lamp Blacks, as well. Because it's good for business for the Lamp Blacks to be like the main power in Crow's Foot. But yeah, so we're coming off flush, just finished off from a score, for sure. So what we're actually going into is downtime. So everyone, including yourself, Alec, will get downtime actions. But so we'll go into that. We'll allow you to do that. But first, I do want to set a scene based around our new character, if that's okay with folks. Just introduce them. So Alec, the tough one. When kind of this session, this episode opens up, where do you see you on your day to day? What's the day to day like of the tough one?
I mean, it's night. It's pretty much night all the time, right? In that world, that's still the case.
Yeah, there might be technically there's some day because there's the last week shards of the sun up there, but it's not really day. It's more like a twilight kind of day.
I mean, I can imagine maybe there's a park, not a park per se, but some kind of a little square, not too large, close to the gym where we practice pugilism. And it might be a gathering place when the weather is a bit warm for myself and others to work out outside. So I'm seated on a bench, working out my biceps with other fellow pugilists, but somewhat of kind of in the public space. So we sort of not literally, but kind of physically own the area, being this band of men and women who are rather muscular and who are training pretty much, doing what is it called? I mean, working out. Yes.
Yeah, there is actually a park in Char Hall that'd be great for that. The Bleak Forest Park over there. That's really neat. Yeah, so I'm imagining you're on the bench working out. Marlene is there, kind of teaching some more youths, this is how you take down someone, and she's a tough but fair kind of coach. I think as you're working out, I think she stops teaching this thing and looks kind of over you, and her face kind of narrows in suspicion. She's not at you but behind you, Alec. and then there's this like woman's voice kind of behind you going, "Oh, I'm just watching. Feel free, just keep carrying on. Don't mind me, just your regular law enforcement blue coat just watching." And if you turn around, you see like there's like this woman who's kind of like has very close crop iron gray kind of hair, but she doesn't look old enough to have grayed out her hair, so it comes off like a bit more bleached. She's got like this big blue coat on her, almost like it's half a size too big for her, but she's like standing there with like this like sleazy kind of smile, um, and you're kind of in between her and Marlene's like staring contest, because Marlene knows she can't really can't really tell her to fuck off at the moment.
I'm gonna go stand in between Marlene and the person. So if you want to admire this, so very nice piece of cake. Check this, guns. And I'm gonna start making pose, but sort of shielding Marlene from this staring contest. I'm not attractive, but I'm just, and I sort of know it. So, but I'm like playing like to impress her while knowing fully that I'm very unlikely to be to her taste. Who knows? Maybe I would, but
Yeah. Well, let's let the dice decide that. This won't be an action roll, so there's no position or effect. This is just a fortune roll, which is basically if I want to disclaim decision making, we can just roll the dice and see if this woman is taken in by that. Fortune roll is basically there's no risk, so you don't have to incur stress and whatnot. But what action do you think in this posing is appropriate?
so it would be. I guess it would be sway.
Yeah.
I don't have the action, so.
Oh, that's perfect. You can always roll an action, but if you have no dots in the action, what it does is it'll roll two dice and take the low. You roll two dice and take the lowest. It's just a fortune roll, so it's perfectly fine. So
Sure.
you can't
So 2d6.
you can't click on the action itself. If you click on sway, you can just roll there, and you'll see like you see a choice of risky, standard, position, but you can pick fortune roll if you click on sway.
Click on sway.
Yeah, position, fortune roll, and then effect is standard. And
in the character sheet.
In your character sheet, yes.
No, I don't see anything when I click on sway.
You sure?
Huh. Yeah, maybe I'm not in the right place.
Your character sheet, in the Roll20.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so weird. Because if I click on it, there's the position. Effect,
if you click on the word sway, it should be clickable.
Yeah, it becomes. It becomes red when I'm over it.
Yes, but you can't click it.
No.
Oh, that's weird.
Maybe it's a thing with the permissions.
Oh yeah, something appeared. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Wait.
Wait. Position fortune roll. Submit.
Yes. And effect standard. And no bonus size. This is just to see if she's impressed by your flexing.
So 0 bonus dice, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
All
right. Oh, 2 4s. So 4 is a mixed success. The way the rolling here is you roll a dice pool and you take the highest. But if your action doesn't have any dots, you roll 2 dice and take the lowest. You roll 2 4s, which is pretty good. And the way it works, 1 to 3 is failure, 4 to 5 is a mixed success, and 6 is just success. So 4 to 5, she's mixed. I think you flex, and she does make a show of like, well, buddy, it looks like you've worked hard for that frame of yours.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Someone.
Well,
Go ahead.
do you work out too? You seem quite athletic yourself, and I raise my eyebrows.
Well, I prefer to exercise my brain, really. We've got more interested people in terms of the physicalities of what we do. Our commanding officer always said that LC, you're better at running your mouth than running these rackets. She just blatantly like admits it, like, yeah, we run rackets, we're Bluecoats. But really, your physique's quite impressive. Is it expensive to keep up?
Not at all. You can lift over rocks, buckets of water. You fill them more and more over time. I'm not very rich myself, and that's my only leisure.
Well, a man can always stand to get a bit richer in this city. And you hear Marlene behind you go, Alec, don't listen to her. Don't. Just walk away from her. And this woman kind of like smiles and it's like, well, you're a grown man. You don't have to take orders or that. Why don't you hear out my proposition? So,
Is it honest proposition? I don't do in fishy things anymore. I do everything above the table.
well, it won't ask much of you. Don't worry. All you need to do is put on a coat like this, stand with some other people who wears coats like this, and look tough.
Well, I appreciate your invitation, but I think if you knew me better, you and your colleagues would not appreciate me wearing your colors. I'm afraid I have a past which isn't acceptable with your peers. You should look it up, maybe.
Oh, believe me, our peers have looked quite well into you, Alec Hoxa. We're not some 10-penny ant amateurs. Me and my unit. Our commanding officers made sure that we know what we're doing, and we don't mind having you along. It's easy work. All I have to do is stand there.
I'm committed to a few match, but I will think very hard of your offer, and once I'm free from those obligations, I will give you an answer.
I think like she smiles, pats you on your iron hard abs, probably, just to confirm, and she slips like a business card, I guess, and on
My trunks?
yeah, yeah, I just realized like
I'm
wait,
bare-chested.
yeah, and she says like, just look out for LC even steps when you're not busy.
I will. Thanks for the conversation. It was nice. We should do it again.
I think like when she leaves and you turn around, you see Marlene's just shaking her head and she's just like, what did I just say, Alec? What did I just say?
I was polite. I did not accept anything.
Mm-hmm.
She's nice. She talked to me. She didn't run away.
Well, given where she's from, what unit I know she's a part of, not many people are scared of them lot. Elsie even steps. Do you even know where she comes from, Alec?
You know me, Marlin. I don't know nothing.
We should get you educated about the people here. Elsie Evensteps is part of the most corrupt unit in the Bluecoats, Alec. What did she ask you to do?
She asked me to join her unit and scare off people by standing around. I said I was too busy at the moment.
Well, whatever they want to scare, it usually doesn't end up well for those being scared. I've got some people you should talk to, Alec. They might be able to help with this.
Yeah, I need jobs. I need excuses not to work for her now. What are they? Are they good fighters? Are you fixing me for some matches?
I think like we get a shot of like Marlene just like looking thoughtfully. It's like looking out into Duskwall and seeing like the small spire of like the clock tower. Just looking out there, it's like, oh, they're pretty good. They're damn excellent fighters. And yeah, I think we can, if that's okay, Alec, we can cut away from there.
Sure, yeah, perfect.
Oh God, this big lovable bear. Cool. So before we kind of get into like this meeting between these three would-be heroes, I do want to get into downtime actions for sure, because we've got a few. But since we've been here for like an hour, let's take like a 6-minute break. That's okay, folks. We'll come back at like 40 past the hour. And we'll see you then. All right, so we're now in downtime. So I want to like get through like these downtime actions people want to do. That includes yourself as well, Alec. If you have anything you want to do from the list, the list is to the at least the vigilante flavored version of downtime is on the left leftmost of the screen. It's next to the map. So I think I am gonna ask our good doctor, the Raven Doctor, what do you want to do first?
I think I need to unstress myself a little because it's been a lot lately, and well, you know, a man has to have some. I can distress by honoring my obligations, right?
Yes, you can do that,
Cool.
or you can do your other one, which is the weird one.
No,
either one.
no, I think what will happen here is that Silas has been asked by one of his cousins to help with one of the coming of age rituals that the Bodens celebrate. So very it's a bit dark because that ritual when the child is coming of age, like passing into being a teen, they will then someone of the family has to make a prophecy, and it has to be a dark prophecy. It has to be a really, really bad one. And it has to be true, of course, or sound true, or seem true, or there has to be some sort of ring of truth to it. And that's part of the ritual, how this person who makes the prophecy breathes in certain fumes and drinks certain hard liquors. And then when the prophecy is spoken, the child has to create an effigy of itself or himself or herself, and then the prophecy will wander into the effigy, and then the effigy is put in a box and stored somewhere, and then the prophecy will only affect the effigy. And as long as it's kept safe, child is fine. Everything's cool. This will never happen, only to the effigy. And yeah, that's the ritual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's your effigy?
Oh, it's burned.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. Well, that went pretty wrong for Silas. So
Okay. So it has happened already to him.
no, it doesn't. He's the prophecy is still out there. So demon will eat his soul. It's his soul,
Okay.
basically.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
He.
At least
It's
you don't
probably
know.
just. It's probably just superstition anyway,
At
right?
least you don't know any unfriendly demons, I guess. Like,
Oh well, and if that happens, it happens. You know,
can't be
can't be helped. Right? Can't be helped.
Okay. All right. I don't think we need any more color into this. What the fuck? This family tradition. You can just roll. See
Yes.
how much stress you lose from this, and then then we can color in how Silas is feeling. So there's the
Yeah. Okay.
window.
What do I roll for this? I do have to roll something,
There is a
right?
button
There's a button.
labeled
Indulge vice, right? Yeah.
What
Love
that
that.
rolls is the
Mm-hmm.
attribute category with the least number of like actions in it, so that will be prowess.
Yes. Okay. And I don't have to put anything in there. I don't get any bonus dice.
No, unless there's like a project or an ability, but like oof, you clear 2 stress.
Well, that's okay. It's better than nothing, right?
Well, you can. I mean, you can spend rep points to get another downtime action. If you need to.
We have, yeah, I don't know. I cannot clear any more stress because the character keeper hates me.
Oh,
Ha!
okay.
I have found out how to do it. Now I feel clever.
Just so you know, Sabine, we do have nearly a full rep. So
We do?
we do,
Oh,
because we earn loads of rep every mission. We just don't earn any coin. So but we can spend rep
okay.
instead of coin. So
Okay.
you know, feel free to dip into that. You can also use it to boost dice rolls on your other stuff as well, I think.
Yeah, on your
Okay.
downtime activities. But yeah, so
Okay.
I want to know, just to concentrate on this
Mhm.
piddling 2 stress you clear. Why is it only 2 stress? What's up with Silas? How's he feeling?
I think he's, well, he is the one doing the prophecy, right? Because he has he has the vibe. Basically, he was always the one who has to do the prophecies ever since he's been grown. And yeah, you have to drink a lot, and you have to look spooky a lot, and it's a bit of responsibility. You have to make a good spooky prophecy that's really scary and stuff like that. So there's a bit of stress, and then the effigy has to go well, and maybe there was a bit of a kerfluffle there, or the effigy was a bit wrong, and then the head fell off or something like that, and then that had to be put together, and it was fine. Everything is fine. The effigy is in its box, and the girl is okay, and nothing will happen to her. She will not be eaten alive by eels.
Oh, what's her
Probably.
name?
What's her? Lucretia.
Lucretia. Okay, just wanted to know.
And yeah, well, but it wasn't as relaxing as these things usually are.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Well, yeah. Lucretia is a bit of a butterfingers. That's why the head fell off.
Okay, all right, sure, yeah, it's her fault.
It's not mine.
Okay, all right, okay.
I did not decapitate the effigy.
Yeah, you're not the one. Yeah, why would you be the one with the butterfingers? You're a professional. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about Redcoat? What's your first downtime activity?
I would like to. I've heard rumors of an honest inspector, someone who can be trusted, someone who can help clean this city up, clean the Bluecoats up, and I would like to start a long-term project to acquire the contact of Mara, the chief inspector, a chief inspector even. So she's a senior inspector, but I like the idea of you know, having a friendly person on the inside, like up above, like trying to root out corruption within the Bluecoats, and but obviously constrained by all the politics of the city, so we have to earn their trust and things.
Yeah. So what does Redcoat? What does Solomon Reigns know about Mara?
But Mara is has taken down corrupt Bluecoat stations and squads elsewhere in the city already, and has a reputation that they can't be bribed. They're like the Elliot Ness of Duskwall, but they do have a lot of enemies among the rank and file and the city. You know, in some ways, she's still being used as a pawn by other people. You know.
Yeah. So it sounds like her profile might be a bit too obvious at the moment, compared to like the other Bluecoats who are just free to like take the coin or whatever. She's like in the position Jim Gordon is in Batman Year One. Is
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That sounds really cool. I think that's a 6-step clock then.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. The
Given
way that the book describes inspectors is kind of like this sort of like roving Sherlock Holmes kind of thing, you know, like. So I like that idea. So do I roll for?
what are your action? How are you convincing her or like getting close to her?
I think the way that Redcoat will be getting close to her is, I think trying to chase down as Solomon Reigns, like more information about her, like talking to different people, you know, seeking out Bluecoats who've been stationed under her, like buying them a drink or something, you know, like acting in his civilian identity.
What action would this be then?
Would it be? I think probably it's more of a consort, to be honest, because hunt is very specifically about sort of like hunting somebody, isn't it? Like rather than if I was like prowling the streets to work out where she lived or something, that would probably be hunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I go with consort, even though I'm not good at consort. It seems like.
I would say that like if you have a friend or another contact who can help you, they can add a die to your downtime activity.
Huh.
Not just like the friends you have, but also like in the Twilight Patrol.
Okay.
Although I don't know if Soren or the Abyss would be helpful in this.
No. Would perhaps my rookie, who I have a negation to, maybe be useful? Yeah.
Yeah. Hella's a friend.
Yeah.
She's probably like.
She might know, like, might have gone to a like studied, you know, like have joined up with somebody who like did a first training under somebody who worked with her or something, you know. I was once assigned like as a brief easy kid mission kind of thing, like just be the dog's body of Mara for the day kind of stuff. Like,
do you mind if I like zoom in on like?
Yeah.
Because like Hella's like someone who you've been training up to do right. And I think at this point, like she's kind of like aware that like you're kind of like isolated from the other Bluecoats for sure, and she's kind of like being isolated in that regard as well. But I think like there's like a moment where like she just kind of like goes up to your desk, and it's just, sir, can we talk like in private?
Sure thing. And stand up and we'll walk out into an alleyway nearby. Like,
sir, you don't mind if I say this bluntly, but you're like one of the good ones, right?
everyone will tell. First tip, rookie. Everyone will tell you they're one of the good ones.
Yeah, but no one else would give you tips like you would.
Well, that's for you to make your mind up about, innit? But spit it out now, kid. What you after? What do you want? What's up?
Well, these recent like cases you've been chasing, they're partnering up. What we've been doing, we're trying to find other people in the Bluecoats like us, aren't we? We're not the only ones, right?
Maybe. But it'll take more than just good spirits to clean anything up in this town. And you want to be careful who you talk to.
I know. I just think things would go a bit more quicker if if both of us are on the same page, or at least both on at least one page. Doesn't have to be all the pages. Just the one is fine.
You're greener than the memory of grass, my girl. You want to make sure that you'll get a bit more years under more street under your feet before you start digging your nose too deep into this business. Just keep clean and keep clear of any danger. But you can always tell me if you need help.
With all due respect, sir, I wouldn't be asking these questions of anyone if I didn't think I could trust them.
Well, we'll need someone important. Someone like you or me. We're never going to clean up this place. We ain't got the rank for it, have we? We ain't got the connections. That's what this city's all about, the connections. Now, maybe if we could get an inspector to come poke their nose in to Char Hollow, but they tend to fly a bit higher than our neck of the woods.
Well, I just have to fly higher.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You need to learn to fly, kid.
Well, we can. I think she's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I think we can close that scene there. Unless you want to have any more pearls of
sure.
wisdom.
No.
Cool. So, she's gonna give you 1 dice at least for your consort. So yeah, if you can do a fortune roll consort and add 1 bonus die. That is that's a 3. So that's 1 tick on your 6-step clock.
Cool. Is there a way I can spend coin to improve it?
Oh yeah. If you spend coin, you're gonna bump it up a result level, so it's gonna go up to 2 ticks. Spend another coin to bump it up to a 6. You get 3 ticks.
I'm gonna spend rep to bump it up to a 6, so that's 2 rep.
Okay,
Right.
so you're halfway there.
Yeah.
That's 3 ticks overall. Yeah. So what do we see? Like, how did you get to like? What does it mean when you get to like halfway to your progress?
I think that my rookie tells me, mentions working with this inspector who I've already heard a bit about, and then I go find like a couple of other Bluecoats who have worked with her directly, and get the scene from them, and one of them passes me her card, kind of thing, like the place to go to, and tells me that he's working with her on a current investigation. And so like I've got the I as Solomon Reigns have as much as you could sort of publicly gather about her at this point, and we'll see how I pursue that in the future, I suppose. Like,
yeah, cool. So we'll move away from Solomon Reigns to the tough one. Alec, how are you spending your downtime?
Alec, I think Marlan probably advised him regarding the people he was about to meet. And following a good advice, Alec's going to try to acquire an asset, which would be his actual costume.
Oh!
So he's going to try to... I guess he will have a little bit of time. It's going to take a few days, but he's going to ask someone from the underworld to do him a sort of leathery outfit. It will be with an helmet, a bit like old rugby or even football sort of thing. So it's kind of leather. There will be some glasses, which will be just a piece of leather with rounds of glass or something, or wireframe of some kind, but just to hide his eyes, and then pants which will be rather comfy with some pockets, and a leather jacket, but without the arms. So he's got bare arms with fortified glove. Or at least that's what he has in mind. So we'll find out if he manages to find something in that vein.
Yeah. So how acquire asset works is you are gonna roll the cruise tier. I know you're not part of the Twilight Patrol yet, but that's kind of how the move works. I think it's kind of like the case of you're meeting up with them folk. There's a lot of support for the Twilight Patrol at the moment because Charho fucking loves them. So if you go to the Twilight Patrol sheet and you see tier, it's like
Twilight Patrol sheet. I got the Twilight Patrol character sheet.
There's tier, which is like underneath like origins. It's next to hold.
Yeah, I got tier.
Yeah.
Should I click tier?
Yes.
Bonus die 0.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, buddy. So you get tier. A 1 to 3 is a tier -1, so that means this fancy. It's not the best looking costume. What does it look like when it's like a tier below what the Twilight Patrol usually has? So like 0. So it's like a tier 0 kind of costume.
I guess it's mostly like the leather jacket. It's a reinforced sort of leather jacket, but it's pretty much just a regular jacket. He cut the arms off. The hat is literally a hat which is used for sport, rough sport, or maybe by pugilists themselves. And the glasses are makeshift, but it's less a costume than someone who scavenged different bits and pieces of stuff from different places and barely adapted them for the purpose he wanted to use. So it doesn't look like tailored. It's not tailored in any way.
Oh man, it's gonna be fun seeing how the other two react to that. Cool. So, what's Alex's reaction to this? Receiving this? We'll get to that, I guess. When they show up. So I'll turn back to the Raven Doctor. Silas, what's your second downtime action? You're muted.
Yes, I know.
Sorry.
That's not my downtime action. Trying to unmute myself. Hopefully. I thought I might try to get into it with one of my long-term projects with Paula.
Okay.
Because she might actually know about this Nightingale thing a little.
A little.
Possibly. A little. Yeah. I mean. Okay. Yeah, and I will. Then she was a bit into the occult arts, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was basically running that demon snuff trade for the Dimmer
exactly.
Sisters, but she had drop hints of she came from Brightstone, from the fancy places. She was someone's servant.
Right.
In the
She was a
fancy places.
maid, right?
Yeah,
Victoria recognized her.
Yes.
Remember. Yeah, I think what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to gain her confidence, right? That's what the clock is all about, gaining Paula's confidence. So I will, at this point, maybe show her a little of what I do with the whole ritual thing and the ravens and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not the deep secrets, not something she could actually do by herself, but something that might show her there's stuff to be learned here, right? That I'm maybe a good connection, and she's got questions for stuff of her own. I'll answer them because I know stuff, right?
Well, we'll see how this demonstration goes first. If she's got questions or if she's still wary.
Yeah, I know.
So what are you rolling?
I thought either study.
Okay.
Yeah, I like study for this because, I can A, show her my studies, B, encourage her to study herself a little, and C, study her. Yeah, I just rolling study. What do I roll? I roll
Yeah,
fortune
quick-
roll.
Yes, use quick study, fortune roll, and effect
Okay.
standard.
Okay. Bonus dice. I don't have any bonus dice.
No, unless you've got one of your friends helping you, but I don't think Sitara's around to help you at the moment.
I might no, Satara. Oh wait, might be actually interesting to have help from a demon here.
Ooh, how is she helping?
I mean, yeah, she could just. I think it would just be a thing like, and this is my friend Satara. She has some unique insights, like have a soiree or a tea. Have tea. Invite her to tea.
I guess like my question is like if Paul, how does Paul react to like an actual demon joining this study party, this of yours? I think like Satara like is like keeping herself like invisible for the moment. She's kind of like standing behind you. It's kind of like
Okay.
whispering like, she seems quite wan. She seems quite lost. What are you doing here, Silas?
I'm trying to unloose her. Trying to settle her down. Trying to find out what she knows, basically.
Oh, so this isn't completely altruistic, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, helping her would actually be a kind thing to do, which I'm not averse to. But if it has some added benefit, everybody wins.
Isn't that the best outcome? Everybody wins.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I'm fascinated to see if you actually pull this off. Then again, we're friends, aren't we? So you're not completely a block of cheese or stone or whatever it is humans make blocks of.
A lot of things can be made into blocks, but I'm not one of these yet.
I think like that's her idea of a pep talk to you.
Yes. I feel very, very pepped up. I'm not a block yet.
Cool.
Uh,
Get an extra
okay.
die.
Yay. I will submit these. See how that goes. Okay, there's the 6. See? It's
Okay,
possible.
Yeah, it's possible. Cool. So that's 3 ticks, which means you fill that clock.
Yay.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
first, I'm gonna ask you to add Paula to your strange friends list. There
Okay.
is a plus button there. That
Yes, found it.
yes.
Paula, what's her description?
Former servant. I guess is the main one.
Hmm.
And she watches like your display, and she kind of like looks up there, looks at the demonic ravens, and it's just, that's wonderful. How did you do that?
Well, I have studied for a very long time to be able to do that, Paula. But it is possible to learn this.
Is it possible for me?
Yes, I think you have the talent, only what you've been shown by the Dimmer sisters or whoever taught you before, those were shortcuts. I feel you didn't really know what you were doing, right?
It's hard to get a chance to study, given where I came from. It's hard to be able to do what you want to do when you have to work so much just to like stand on your own 2 feet, you know.
Might surprise you, but I do know.
I don't really want to go back, especially after what y'all did to their operation.
Where did you actually come from?
It's a long story. But I'll tell you after you show me how you did this, how you brought these ravens to you.
Well, give me a little.
Um, how? Uh, ask me what you want. What's the question you want answered?
Who's the Nightingale?
Nightingale. I think when she like looks out into, because you're I'm assuming you're at the clock tower.
Yeah, yeah,
You're at the top where you summon your ravens. She
yes.
looks out. She looks towards Brightstone, which is even in the gloom of Duskwall, is so obviously the nice quarter because it's clean and there are lights. Ugh, hate that. Yeah, hate to have lights and cleanliness. Especially compared to everywhere else. That's the main thing. I don't hate the lights or cleanliness, but when it's just
Oh,
concentrated at one place.
I don't precisely hate it. I mean, I covet it. I envy it. I desire it.
Yeah, she looks out there and says, "There's so much one can do when one has power and money and influence. You can do so much with it. And the Nightingale, my mistress, she had so much of it. And she could have chosen to do anything else. But she decided, why not play at being a criminal? Why not play at being lord over the underworld?"
At least it's an ambitious goal.
She's hungry for it. She used to be so listless, so bored of life, but that goal, that ambition, I think like in this episode we kind of cut to this like shadowed figure looking out from a mansion in Brightstone, looking out kind of like as if like her and Paul are like staring at each other from far away. This figure who looks much smaller and much younger than probably you'd expect. To the viewers, she looks like she's Victoria's age. Um, looks kind of like around that same social class.
Mm. Yeah, I think Victoria knew her, right?
Yeah.
As a player. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I know Jim's not here, but I'm still going to use this
Yeah,
thing I've set up.
of course. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think then we cut back to Paula and she looks at you,
Cool.
Silas, and says, she's not as experienced in the world as one would think, but that's scary in itself because that means she doesn't know where to quit. She doesn't know when to quit, and she won't stop. She won't rest now that she's got something to distract herself.
But you know her name, right?
I think like she looks like she's almost afraid to like say it. She says, "The Ravens."
Yes. Well, and I start telling her the first steps that she would need to. Like, first we start with the precautions.
Yeah. I think we can cut away from there. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Redcoat, what's your second downtime action?
I think I would like to. What level of heat are we on actually? We're only on 2, aren't we?
Yeah, well, wanted level 2,
1.
but the thing is, it's hard to bring down a wanted level. I know, we've tried in my other campaign. The only way to bring down a wanted level is to get someone arrested for your quote-unquote crimes. Whether that's a friend or a contact or maybe someone you inframed or something. Heat is like an activity you can just do. But or you can work on a project to boost down your wanted level. But yeah, it's tough to bring it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, okay. I will instead earn some coin. I will do my side job. I will be a Bluecoat. I'll pull some shifts. And in fact, maybe one of the shifts that I pull, I come across the tough one, having accosted some thugs in the street, and I'm the Bluecoat on patrol that he dumps them at the feet of. Solomon
Yeah.
Rains will look up and be like, "And what's this then?"
What's this?
Well, these guys, what have they done then? Are you come to turn yourself in for beating them up? Is that it?
I'm not beating up anyone.
Well, who beat these guys up?
No, they fell from that stairs over there. I was helping them stand back again.
Ah, good. Well,
Who's asking? Are they a friend of yours?
well, it looked like a pair of crows that have flown away from the nest. Nasty lot.
Well, I want no trouble here. Actually, I would like less trouble in the area. That's what I'm all about. You're seeking.
You're Marlene's pal, aren't you? The big one that she's been telling me about.
I don't know. Are you the small one she's been telling me about?
Marlene wouldn't tell you about me, sunshine.
Maybe she did. Been telling me about someone recently. I was shopping for that.
Well, hope it went well. I'll be seeing you, big guy. Stay out of trouble. And he grabs up the two unconscious guys and takes them away to the paddy wagon or whatever the Duskwall equivalent of it is.
Yeah, it's a paddy wagon. It sure is. Cool. So, God, that's I can't wait for DC to interact even more. So, yeah, gain 1 coin for that. Working your side job. And yeah, so we go to the tough one. What's your final downtime action?
The tough one would like to work on this long-term project to make the neighborhood safer, especially for kids. So it's actually sort of going through his, he used to be a criminal himself, going around bars and so on, having chats with people in pubs, and trying to have a better feel about who's who around here, and who might be the one. There's always some which are predating on the younger ones and get them started in a life of crime. So we'd like to identify a few key ones in the area.
That's really good. It's like a neighborhood watch kind of project.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
one-man
exactly.
neighborhood watch.
Yeah. So I'd like to use consort.
Cool. First I detail how many
Sure.
ticks. I think this seems like a big one. For sure.
Yeah.
Unless you want to like localize it to like a specific part of Char Hollow in this map. But if it's like wide, I'll say right now, if you want to like cover the whole district, it's gonna be 8 ticks. But if it's like a specific neighborhood, that's 6.
I'm gonna start with a neighborhood. What was the park you mentioned earlier?
Here, Bleak Forest. So this place is called the Knackers. Come on, who named this?
Wait, I need to reduce the size of the avatars because they're hiding everything in my little laptop.
Here we go.
So
I ping in again. Yes, the
Oh,
Knackers.
okay.
So has like a street called Pissing Alley. Hold on, let me share this actually, so anyone.
Oh yeah, I see Pissing Alley. Yeah, you know what? I want to secure Pissing Alley. I want to clean up that street. If I can clean up Pissing Alley, I can clean up any street.
You'll be prepared for Pigtail Alley.
So how many ticks to clean up Pissing Alley?
I'll say it's 6 because there's a Pissing Alley. It needs a lot of cleanup. Didn't get that name for nothing. So that's 6 ticks.
So where did I put that? Is there a
If you go to your character sheet, You
Yeah.
scroll down. Up on
Yeah.
top of notes, there's clocks.
Yeah.
You can just add one, and it says how many ticks, and you can give it a name.
Clean up. Pissing. Is it street or alley? I forgot. Pissing alley. Yes. Love
Yes.
that.
All right. So you say you want to use consort.
Yeah, consort. At this point, I'm mainly having a feel of the area.
Cool. All right. So that's a fortune roll again with consort.
Okay, consort. Fortune roll. Submit. Standard.
Yes.
0 bonus die.
Yes.
Submit.
That's a 1. So on a 1 to 3 in a long-term project, that's 1 tick on the clock, unfortunately. So Alec, why didn't it work out? What's up with Pissing Alley? Why are they?
I think I mean, quite immediately, I run into the problem that it's somebody's turf. It's so it's I picked Pissing Alley because it seemed to be somewhat pacified. Because a lot of people seem to go there, piss, have a chat, and there's not many fights breaking out there. But actually, I find out it was because there's actually someone who's using this area for exchanges of information and stuff. Not someone too high in the food chain, but still, and that person reacts quite aggressively as soon as I seem to be asking question about the area.
Yeah.
It's actually it's a minor intelligence crossroad. So starting to ask questions about it raised suspicions very fast.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna spend between now and then to figure out which gang that could be, who's parking around Pissing Alley. But yeah, I think that there is like an atmosphere of like, you haven't pissed much here, have you? Even though okay, wait, we need to like.
I haven't seen you pissing about
Okay, we
here
need to, like,
before.
all right, I'm gonna say right now we should dial back on.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I started it. It's fine. I started it, but like we should rate it in before it gets out of hand. Cool. So I think
So nothing happens to the clock, right?
it gets 1 tick.
I still get 1 tick.
Yeah,
Okay.
you always make some progress, but
Wait.
on a 1 to 3, yeah, 1 to 3 in a long-term project is 1 tick. 4 to 5 is 2, and 6 is 3 ticks. You roll 2
Okay.
6s, you get 5 ticks.
Wow, I'm already happy with my little tick.
Cool.
It's a start.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, you decide to start the Pissing Alley, and you get okay. All right, okay. Well, okay, we've been here for another hour. So what I'm gonna do is gonna call another 5-minute break. Well, actually no. I don't know how many minutes, but let's come back at 35 past the hour.
Okay. Cheers.
Okay. So, Alec, Marlene's give you some weird instructions. She's given you a bell. And she's told you to like find a secluded spot and ring that bell 13 times. What's Alec's secluded spot where he does this, do you think?
Let me have a quick look at the map for inspiration.
I will say last time we did this with a new character, it was at a church. So it was in an abandoned church. So I would ask that maybe not an abandoned church this time. Or maybe it's a different abandoned church. I don't know. What's up to you?
I mean, is there? Yes, I would say like the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
upper,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, the uppermost end of the knackers. Even maybe it's already dug down over there, but alongside the burnt water, yeah, it's riverside.
Oh,
Quite
so
corner.
maybe around here or here.
Yeah, somewhere over there.
Yeah. Ooh, I like this being like next to the river. What's the name of this river? Burn water. Or the burnt water. That's really neat. Cool. So, Alec, you're there. You've got this bell. What are you thinking as you ring it like 13 times?
Well, it's a bit silly, but I guess I give it a go. I trust her. So let's see.
Oh, it's that you're probably wearing a costume at this point as well, right?
Yeah. I found a quiet corner and got a back, some kind of rucksack, and I got the costume. So ding, 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 ding. I haven't been counting, so I don't know. I've done it 13 times. I'm dinging the bell.
Yeah. So, who greets Alec first?
I would suggest the Raven Doctor lives. Dr. Raven lives right near.
Yes, I might go. I will, of course, don my costume and then go see who rings the bell. And I will attempt, of course, to speak to him from the shadows, because that is quite... if you're still ringing the bell, you will hear a voice telling you, you have rung the bell 13 times. Did you mean to do that, or do you just enjoy ringing your bell?
Is that a thing now? I've been in jail for quite a while, so I don't know if people fancy ringing bells specifically 13 times at near the riverside is something common.
It has happened before. It's said that it will summon the Twilight Patrol. If you ever need to.
I hope they will show up sooner. I don't have that much time.
What would you want from the Twilight Patrol then?
I was told that they could need the help of a tough one. And I am the tough one.
Well, who would not need the help of a tough person? That is not something to sneeze at.
Someone already tough would not need one. You don't look too tough to me.
Well, that is a matter of perspective, isn't it?
I don't know that fancy word.
It means that, yes, when it comes to a physical confrontation, you are quite certainly a lot tougher than I am. But when it comes to spirits and their ilk, the tables might be turned.
I'm a good drinker. I can take on spirits too.
I am not speaking of the spirits found in a bottle, or that kind of bottle. And I think at this point I will just call a little of the electroplasmic glamour to my hand, just to illuminate the area, and so you can see the mask with this raven speak.
Oh, witchcraft, ghosts, specters. That's what you call spirits?
Yes.
So that's you, the Twilight Patrol.
I am the Raven Doctor. I'm a member of the Twilight Patrol, yes.
Are there many of you? Or you are alone?
No, we are a few. I'm alone at this moment.
Or are they too fancy for the tough one that they just sent you alone?
No, I don't think so. I'm the fanciest of them all, so
Well, that for sure, you look fancy.
thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
Well, that was.
Good. Hey. Well, where might we reach you if we have need of a tough one? 'Cause I don't.
Where can you find me? I spent time trying to clean up Pissing Alley.
Oh, good luck with that. It's disgusting.
Well, it needs a good cleanup. It's a good place to start.
That's true in a lot of senses, yes. Be
I'll
careful, though.
I'll add that like Marlene has asked you, Alec, to like talk about the woman who tried to recruit you. You've still got her card.
Oh. I was told that the patrol might be interested in that. And I'll hand you the card from Elsa, the blue coat.
Okay, a raven will come and swipe the card and bring it to me, just for a little effect. Yes. Try to recruit you for what? Exactly.
Scare people around. Standing next to old men. That's what she told me.
Oh, well. And that's a blue coat, right? On the card. Bluecoats name. I think this would be of interest to a colleague of mine. Huh. I think this is the perfect time for Redcoat to show up. I mean.
Yeah, I was thinking this could be a whole the Raven Doctor and mysterious away, and then we could gather information.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah, I think.
I just don't want to do the all stepping out the shadows every single time.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
so I'll say, well, that is indeed interesting. We will investigate. I suggest that we shall meet up at probably some kind of, probably here. The old church is perfect. Meet up here next in tomorrow evening to share what we found out, and then we can take action.
You need me to do something in the meantime?
Well, if you can find out more information about who this is and what her curriculum is, what her daily activities are.
Okay. I can do that.
Asking this big mountain of a man to be stealthy, okay?
I did not. I asked him if he could find that out. He doesn't need to be stealthy.
Just making sure. Cool. Okay. How does the Raven Doctor exit this place dramatically?
Probably just melt into the shadows again, or just walk off with the ravens cawing around him with this coat flying. Yeah.
A swirl of ravens around you like Dracula and bats.
That I don't have that ritual yet.
I think the tough one will look left and right, walk 10 meters against the corner of the whatever building was next to the river, and unzip his duffel bag and change back again to his regular clothes. Well, that wasn't long. I was expecting some action already.
So I got a second win, so we can do at least gather info to set up for this score, which I think will play out in full next week. We don't have much time allotted left. So yeah, let's gather some info. So the facts. You know that Grace's unit is apparently gearing up for something. She sent one of her minions, Elsie Even Steps, to recruit thugs, basically, apparently to scare some people. So there is enough there for the bones of like to do engagement. But if you want to like know more about like what are they targeting, why are they hiring random thugs, et cetera, et cetera, to like help flesh out like how we do this. Because like I've heard some folks be like, they got these fish bones and they can like, all right, let's just roll engagement. We got a plan. It's a cult. We're gonna like tune a ghost into this like owl statue and make it look like it came alive. That's our plan. And then they rolled a 3, and oh shit, desperate action. But but we've got time to like folks on the gathering for like want some specific scenes.
This feels like a detective-y sort of part of the Batman comic as well. Like
Yeah.
what is the plan? And then we're in the mid part of the superhero movie.
Yeah.
I would like to. I think. I think I would like to do a scene of skirmishing with I think hunting, like, I look for Ellie or somebody else who might be doing similar things in this squad, and someone who's part of this squad, and I hunt them down and have the sort of like they're taking a bribe off someone or they're demanding protection money or something, and I burst in there and dispense justice.
Yeah, I think you burst into like Armand Brocken. He insists he's called Armand, but everyone calls him Armand. And yeah, why this one specifically? You think you targeted out of Grace's unit?
Because I know that he's weak and he's got a tendency to run his mouth when he's drunk and he's loud and he's angry.
Yeah.
Like he's got no discipline to him, basically.
Yeah. What is his like situation when you like burst into where he is?
I think he is drunk and like just demanding stuff from, he's basically shaking someone down in the street going like, oh, you want to be running for this? Like some kid, and he's just starting him like, I can send you to whatever the prison's called, I forget.
Iron Hook.
I can send you to Iron Hook away for years, son. Better give me more than that. I can come for your family and all kind of, horrible, nasty shit that's going to make us feel very happy when he gets things broken in a few minutes.
Yeah. So cool. Redcoat comes along and demands Armand swear to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That sort of thing. Cool. Let's roll this skirmish, and this is all gonna be fortune roll to gather info, see how much he squeals.
Cool. 5s.
5 is good info, and you can get 1 follow-up question. So, Armand squirms because that is his nature.
Yeah, I think the thing I'm saying is that like, people, if you're the quality of officer of copper in the Bluecoats nowadays, no wonder they're looking to just hire any old thug off the street.
What? What
Who do you want? What do you want with these people? Why do you need more muscle?
But what? We're just running a bit. Don't you don't talk to Grace, do you?
I just like twist his hand, like yeah.
I'm thinking of 2 specific panels from Watchmen.
Yeah. It is very. I was very much.
Might I remind us that we have a line against torture by the PCs?
Yeah.
Oh yes. So I think you're just standing.
I was thinking more along the lines of threatening behavior rather than.
Okay. Cool.
Is the full on like? I would like to just basically be Rorschach, but without the
Yeah.
like actual bodily harm kind of thing.
Okay. So I imagine he's sitting down. You're standing over him.
Yeah, we're in the Batman animated. We're in the Batman bit where he's beating up the goons and he's, you
Okay.
know, that's
All
like
right. I'll make him less
even
sleazy
if
then.
what they're saying is like, you know, like we'll take you down, you know, we'll show you kind of thing, but
Yeah.
they blab too much.
Yeah, I think I'll dial him back a bit, and he's like, "Well, why else? Why else would you think we'd just be hiring random thugs? And by the way, they're not random. They're have you seen? We've got some real up and coming folk in this little scheme of ours. Have you seen that tough one? He's tough. He's real tough. And we've got Mercy. There's nothing behind them eyes. They'll do anything so long as it's they're up for anything. And
I didn't ask you for who your little friends were. I asked you why. And you got enough goons? I'm not taking people's money for you.
for your information, no, not since you lot showed up. Bluecoats' brand is dirt these days. They'd rather look to people like you. Who the hell even are you? You're just you're probably just some loser who flunked out of the force because you weren't good enough to be able to do what we do.
Oh
Just be
yeah,
on top.
nowhere near. I'm nowhere near as good as you, Armand. Nowhere near. And then, you know, I will, like spin him around on his chair and like dump him over the edge of into the canal, perhaps. You know, like.
I was gonna say you have a
topple
follow-up
back over them.
question
Yeah.
before you jump in
Well,
the canal.
yeah. I think my follow-up question is, so that's what I guess it's the one I'm asking though. Like, why? So they go in for them because they haven't got people.
Yes.
But why do they need more muscle? Like, what are they? Are they just doing more of their own operations, or have they got a special thing in mind?
It's a special thing they got
Yeah.
in mind. They're apparently what he'll intimate, and I'll just say it in like in abstract terms. What he basically says is that whatever this thing they've got planned, it needs not only more muscle but expendable muscle. They need to put the fear of the Bluecoats back on the people. But they don't want to do it themselves. They need people to take the fall for this.
Okay. Cool.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. And obviously, all player characters know all of the information that Redcoat has just discovered.
Cool. All right. What about the other two? What's Silas or Alec doing to gather some info?
Alec, if it's okay, Sabine, Alec is gonna go around and if it's not overarching, I would imagine through training and doing sports in that public square, he tried to interact with younger kids of the area, and he gonna start question a bit, organize the kids in exchange of little promises of services to them to go around and work out who's been the subject of any form of pressure by these new recruits, by the Bluecoats. So any rumors or information, especially kids whose parents suffered from that pressure, like if you're bullied by someone, even a Bluecoat, you tell me you shouldn't be bullied and you shouldn't bully people, kid.
Stay at home. Winners don't do drugs, etc., etc.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. What are you rolling for this? And again, this is another fortune roll.
So I will be rolling. I was planning on rolling some command.
Yeah.
That's all right. Because I'd like to develop sort of a, well, it's not exactly his crew, but a Yancey Street sort of mini gang for my character. So command.
That's really cool. So that's another fortune roll.
Yeah, fortune, submit, standard effect, 0 bonus die. Let's go.
Oh,
Come on!
I know.
No.
I know. Well, you'll still get info. It's just a bit limited. You'll
Do I
get.
get XP for those? ones?
You have XP. No, sadly, no. It's not XP on a miss. There are XP triggers that we will go over at the end of the session.
Okay.
I think you've been hitting some of them, so you'll be grand. Cool. So you will get at least where their target is, or at least like where these kids say like where all these like Bluecoats, meaner looking like different Bluecoats that they're not used to. Basically, just people wearing those Bluecoats, kind of like what LC Even Steps offered you. They are hanging around the sheets a lot, specifically in Lie Street.
Okay, the sheet in my streets
is over here.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. There's only one landmark there. I don't know why that's there. Don't know why they'd be interested in that.
Yeah, there's a charity there. I mean, that would interest Alec if someone is running a charity there.
Oh, I should explain. That charity was set up by one of the PCs way back in March.
So I mean, does it have a front end? Because Alec will know about it. So
yeah. It is a legit like charity that is operating through the help of like a bunch of benefactors. They were there to like help clean up this evil demon snuff that was going around, but they're still there. They're helping people. It's you can completely like come in for sure.
I will go. Alec will go in, not too discreetly, and ask what they're up to, and are they religious in any way? Is this some kind of religious charity or not?
Yeah, it's a religion based around the Weeping Lady. Let me double check what their deal is. I will say up front, they're not like cultists. They're not.
No.
Yeah.
But what I meant is Alec is on a path of redemption, praying to whatever what's going on a religious side of things. I mean, it's his vice, so he will definitely engage on that aspect and ask, "Oh, so who are you praying to? Can I pray with you? What are you doing?"
Yeah, you're talking to the abbess, who is like the head of the charity.
Wow.
She's like in her like mid to late 40s, kind of like hair that looks almost like plastered to her skull. It's like very like there's no thread out of place. You don't know how she did it, but she's got it like tightly bound. But she does look at you with like sympathy, and she says, "Well, we are a charity first, and perhaps a kind of religion second. We follow the tenets of Lady De Vera, the first Lord Governor of Duskwall. She held this city together in a time of great strife, in a time when the sun had been broken and the immortal emperor was consolidating all that he knew. Many people don't remember this, but Lady De Vera, our first Lord Governor, she was a champion for those who did not have champions. She was one who never looked down on people, but would kneel and look them in the eye and ask, "What can I do to help?" We call ourselves the Weeping Lady because she never shied away from showing that she was human. And if one weeps, then one feels for another. And she felt that was not the best, but a way to show that one cares. And she wanted others to know that she cares and that others can. So, my dear, she always calls you boy, but you're like way taller than her. She's looking up at you. um, so if you are interested in what we do, know that what we do can be messy and tough. What we do is we help those who need it. Not just um, not just in what people like the Twilight Patrol does. Although, sorry, take a drink. Although what they do is important as well, but it's not the only way to help. They make sure that we can pursue less violent means, less. Trying to find a word. Dangerous means. I think she's meaning that, like, they don't invite as much violence in here, but you get the sense that, like, she doesn't say that she thinks violence is wrong.
Well, there's been much violence in my life, and my parents said, "I'm a big boy, I should not cry," but didn't lead to a good life or good things. So I want to change. I like what you're saying about that person who was strong and not afraid to show she was human. I want to help. Can I help?
Of course. Of course. All help is accepted here in our charity. Now, why don't we sit down and have you had a meal? She says, as if like she's looking at your physique and it's like, well, you've had plenty of meals, I suppose. Have you had a meal today? She's basically asking, you want to have lunch at least, so we can talk about how you can help.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. Alec will be all for that. He's very. He's almost. I mean, you're saying he's very tall, but actually he's kind of boyish around her, which is a bit. It's not exactly intimidated, but easing up a bit. And yeah, he seems very swayed by what she's been saying so far. So yeah, we'll follow her around like a puppy, trying not to bump into things or break anything, and smile at people.
Yeah, I think like it's endearing. I think I was gonna like roll to see how the weeping lady. I might do that. Give me a second. Let me roll their tier. Oh, they love you. Roll a 6. So people are endeared by your presence. Uh, so like I think yeah, I think that very very much like they see the abbess with you and they think, okay, that seems like a good guy. Cool. All right. So that's that. So at least you probably filter back to the nursery crew that yes, it seems their target is this charity. That one of the that two of the player characters help set up.
Might not be subtle to answer it and be standing in the middle of it, but that's Alec.
That's fair. There are some people in the subtlety. Yeah, I did notice in the chat. Yeah, there's some stuff we could have done. We have some time maybe after this one more gathering from. So I think Silas hasn't gone.
Yeah.
Cool. So what do you want to do, Silas?
What I want to do is I want to don my spirit warden stuff and go. I mean, there are probably holding cells and stuff like that in where this Grace person hangs around, right? And probably, knowing police guys, probably some people die there. Maybe just they are ill or something, and if they die there, they need a spirit warden to gather up the spirit, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
and I'm Spirit Warden, so I will go there, try to gather up as many spirits as I can, and then have a nice chat with them about what they heard, about this Gracie woman and what she was planning, and why she was hiring these thugs, and what beef she had with the Weeping Lady, what they heard there. Or if they know the name of somebody I could ask, they would know more. Or we could ask. Or I could sick the tough one or Redcoat on to, wait, I can intimidate people myself. I don't need these guys.
Yeah, you've got demon ravens with you. You're fine.
Yeah.
Cool. So that sounds like, what are you rolling for this, actually?
I will roll a tune, I guess.
Yes.
Because I want to talk to ghosts. That seems the tuney.
Oh yeah. No, attune is the catch-all for want to do ghosty stuff.
I like doing ghosty stuff, and it seems more useful than studying old. I mean, you could study old reality possession stuff documents, but I rather like talking to ghosts. It's more interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'll roll a fortune roll.
Yes. This is all we rolled nothing but fortune rolls tonight. But that's
Fair.
fine. We're easing someone in next week.
Okay, I don't get any bonus dice because there's no devil's bargain, and I'll better keep my stress to myself. That's bad enough. So I'll just submit.
Oh, wow. That's a 6.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, Leandro.
Yeah, maybe it's just you. Well, no, people just.
No, it's not, right?
Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's every single. I
think Callum, you might be the unlucky one. That might be.
Oh, don't worry. The luck will filter to you someday.
Yes.
Yes. Running a Fortune Dark game yesterday.
We'll do our best.
It's running a Fortune Dark game yesterday, and 8-step clock was filled in one roll.
One roll. How do you do that? How do you do that?
It was a. Well, it was already going to be extreme effect with the roll, and then they rolled 2 6s.
Oh. Wow.
It was controlled extreme, and they rolled 2 6s. And I was like, I have to respect this. He dead. Final boss is dead in one go. No, it was great. It was lovely. Okay, so on a 6, check. Great, you get exceptional details. The information is complete, and follow-up questions may expand to related areas or reveal more. So here's what the ghosts, who kind of like spirits, are like, the little small bits that are around Grace's unit. They tell you a lot of horrible stuff, actually.
Okay, I will bear this.
Yeah, Grace's unit, as Redcoat described, is the most corrupt unit, and we can
have an iron will.
Yeah. So you can bear it, but like we can just say that they've been to up to a lot of stuff.
Okay, I am disgusted though.
Oh yeah.
By Grace.
Yeah, and you ask about why they're targeting the Weeping Lady charity, and I think this one particular ghost, his name is Marlowe. Just kind of like scoffs, and it's like, she's not interested in the Weeping Lady charity. She's interested in who set it up. The Weeping Lady charity is just a means to get to her real target, which is you guys.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
You're competition for her now. And I'm imagining Marlowe is like kind of like thin, reedy guy. He's got a smoking jacket on. I don't know why. It's just, especially you and your Redcoat friend, the Twilight Patrol, they've been making waves. You beat back the crows, and you followed them into their lair and destroyed them. That's gonna get attention.
True.
And she's not too happy about that kind of attention, because when you've got a group doing good out there, shining this bright light, it creates shadows,
Yeah, everybody can see how dirty the Bluecoats are. The light shines so brightly.
Yes. And, well, Grace is, well, she's... I think when you say shines so brightly, he looks at you like, really? But he lets it go. Uh, he's talking to the Raven Doctor. Grace is now determined to snuff out that light. And it starts with the people most connected to the Twilight Patrol, which is that charity. I mean, everyone knows that it was your gunslinging friend, Slider, who helped set that place up. We've seen him. They've seen him. They've had reports of him being involved with the Twilight Patrol. And so that's where they're starting. But it ain't.
What are they trying to do? Burn down the building or something more insidious?
Burning down the building is an obvious action. But it signals desperation. It signals that they're cornered and they're gonna try to come out swinging. But Grace doesn't think she's cornered yet. She's planning on wrapping up these random thugs in blue coats. But she will have one of her own, Elsie Even Steps, leading them and saying, oh, hey, this is her unit. And she's going to march them into the Weeping Lady charity and basically say, well, you know how Bluecoats do. They've got the badge. They think they can go wherever they want. And they'll kind of march in and they will they will root through the place and find out as much as the charity knows about you.
Oh, so this is a fact-finding mission, then.
Well,
damn.
But they know if they make a strike against you, any one of them in that charity can just ring the bells and summon y'all forth. Hence why they don't want to sully their hands too much. Hence why they're recruiting random thugs. They don't want to put their own folk in the crossfire.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's very useful. Do you have a name or two of these thugs?
Well, one of them is named Mercy, I believe.
Okay. I've heard of her. No, not good.
Oh, I should actually ask Alec, what's Mercy's pronouns?
She, her.
Okay. A lot of tough women in this game. Yeah. So Mercy, you've heard of her. There's also. Let's see, I'm gonna look my name generator.
You know what? Make Mercy a him, cross-dressing him. I think it could be cool. A cool name for a cross-dresser.
Probably won't come to play if they're wearing a blue coat.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. Yeah, I think he'll list out some names like Mercy, the Blackford. His name is just Blackford, but he calls himself the Blackford. Yeah. Well, everyone knows his real name is Octavius Blackford, but he's calling himself now the Blackford.
Okay. That seems like a person who might just be pretentious enough to fall for a little razzle-dazzle, I guess. But we'll see. I've got to have some ideas what we can do with this intel. So, I will bring this back to the crew then.
Yeah, I think before you kind of leave, Marlowe's like, this isn't going to end with just you protecting your own, right? This has to go back to Grace, right?
Marlowe, I've heard what these people have told me. These stories. These ghosts. There's nowhere for them to come for justice, but us, we will not disappoint them. This will end one way or another.
Well, when you get to Gracie, and I hope you do, I trust you'll do. Tell her former partner's waiting for her.
Oh, you want to stay with me for a bit? I mean, I can, just so I can make sure that you will encounter her again.
I think like he was about to make a dramatic turn to walk away, and just like, oh, well, I'm not
Now
really
hold up.
doing much lately.
Hold up one of these spirit jars.
I don't know what you got. What you got in that jar? Is there like leg room?
Yeah, there is enough room for your spirit in there, and then some.
Hold it to that, spirit warden. And yeah, he'll come into your spirit.
Cool.
File. Okay, so you got him.
I got him. Neat.
Cool. All right. I think we've done. Well, I think we'll end it here so we can do like some debrief. We'll come back. So I think we'll end on the shot of. Yeah, let's end on a shot of Grace. Redcoat, what does Grace look like since she's your rival?
I think Grace is like a very unlike she is very like she's got a crisp uniform. She's very clean, but very like well, like stern, disciplined, kind of like no nonsense, strict with like dark hair and a sort of like cruel look all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Can I say she smokes cigars?
Yeah, she definitely smokes cigars. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just like we just get a shot of like at the
She smokes like the longer, thin ones rather than the big, chunky like J. Jonah Jameson ones. She's like kind of more like long, thin ones, and like the Perry White type rather than the J. Jonah Jameson to go with superhero analogies. Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, so we get like a shot of like her at the Bluecoats station. She's smoking like a cigar, and she holds up a newspaper, and it's a shot of it's a very impressive charcoal redrawing of the Twilight Patrol when they did their big hero pose at the end of last session.
Are we allowed to say that Duskwall has like like old school photography kind of thing, like with the big old like thing? It may be some way ectoplasmic or whatever, right? But just so that we can have those sort of like black and white pictures of
Yes.
the fallen thing, like.
Yes, I think like she's hearing she's listening to like her Elsie Even Steps talk about yeah, so tough one's a bit of a, well, pardon my language, a tough one. He might not swing by, but we've got Mercy, we've got the Black Fort, we've got a bunch of and Elsie's like pattern kind of like fades away as Grace is like looking at this picture of the Twilight Patrol, and she just pokes it with her cigar, and specifically pokes Redcoat in the face with a cigar, and we just get like shot of this newspaper burning up in her hands. And I think we'll end it there if that's okay with folks. Cool. So before we close this recording, we do XP. Even though there was no score, you all still did things, and you all probably hit those triggers. So how XP works is like you've got 4 XP trackers, which is your playbook XP and your action categories. And whenever you mark XP, you can mark any one of those trackers here. So let's start with Redcoat. Did you address a challenge with violence or coercion?
Yep.
How?
That one.
Yeah, so if you did it once, you get 1 XP. If you did it multiple times, you get 2 XP. Do you think you did
it once? Just once. But I think I did express my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background in that I pursued things, to try and clean up the Bluecoats and
Yes.
look after people. So I'll do another one, I guess.
I would say like you did enough. You did multiple times. It feels like you
Okay,
really
I'll go for
expressed
that.
quite a bit.
I'll take the XP.
Yeah.
I didn't show from anything with advice or traumas during the session, and I don't think we learned anything. I know your extra one is, did we learn anything new about the thing? I don't think we did yet.
Are you sure?
No, I think these are all things that we pretty much knew about Redcoat.
God, he's so singular, isn't he?
Yes.
He's very straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 3 XP. Put that wherever you want. Cool. What about our Raven Doctor?
Well, I think I addressed the challenge with knowledge and arcane power, and
Yes.
I did that with Paula and with the Marlowe thing.
Yes.
So that's twice, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2, and I also expressed my heritage by doing the ritual thing for Lucretia. But I think that's just only once.
Okay. Sure, didn't express your drives or your background. You put on Spirit Warden stuff, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah, so it's 4, right?
Yes.
Cool. Yay.
What did we learn of the Raven Doctor?
Oh, I think we learned that his own ritual went horribly wrong.
You've got a burnt effigy there somewhere. Thanks
Yes, I do.
Take 1
Yeah.
XP.
Thank you.
Cool.
A lot of XPs.
Finally, our new character, the tough one. Let's go through your XP. It's down at the very bottom of your character sheet.
Yeah, so if I address the challenge with violence or coercion, no, I mean...
You did beat up one guy. You dumped a guy on Redcoat's lap.
Yeah.
But that might be just more flavor than addressing a challenge. I'll leave it.
That was not a challenge. That was. I mean, I would take the XP.
I'll give, because you're lagging behind. I'll give you the XP. I might even give you a whole advance. Who knows? I don't need to think about it.
Okay, so I got the XP.
Yeah, I get it.
Did you express your belief, drives, heritage, or background? My faith came a couple of times, especially with the charity thing. I did bring up that I went to jail, and
if you did it more than
my
once.
drive, and then my drive was redemption. So I don't know how many that is for you.
Well, if you did multiple times, you get 2. That's the limit.
Yeah, sure. I would say.
So you get 2 XP.
Yeah, you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas during the session.
I would argue because it's that's the last part's tricky. How do you struggle with your vice?
How do you struggle with the faith vice? Would there be things which are contradictory, or
no? I think the character is struggling, as in trying to figure out what faith to put on to hold on to. I think that's a good struggle.
Okay.
I've done this before in other times where sometimes I indulge my vice and I see Sabine you're muting there. Yes, I thought you were gonna argue as well that because you didn't.
No, I just forgot to mute myself. I'm not going to argue, and I'm just making faces because my shoulder hurts. So
okay, all right. I was gonna say Silas did maybe struggle with the vice, remembering.
No, my vice is weird, right? And the other
also your
thing.
obligation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say no to XP. I mean, but I don't. I have played a lot, so I don't really. I'm not starving here.
Okay. Either way, I'll give the tough one and that extra XP because you're a bit behind because you're starting up here. And there's an extra question I always ask to give everyone more XP because XP is good. What did we learn besides everything about the tough one this session?
What did we learn? It's a bit weird because everything and nothing. I think the it wasn't much, but actually it was an interesting detail about him, and I'd like to develop about his past. Was this idea that his parents would not let him cry, and they sort of pressured him, saying that he was a strong boy. So it maybe even his physical abilities come from the fact that he's been trained and pressured in a very toxic environment as a kid.
Aww. Aww. Take 1 XP.
Yeah.
Cool. Now we do crew XP. Did you interfere with criminal scores, protect citizens, or antagonize the law? The last one, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely
The
antagonize the law.
last one we did.
Absolutely. So take 1 XP for that. So that means that fills you up. Did you contend with challenges above your current station?
No.
You're about to, but
Yeah.
not yet. Yeah,
But not yet.
because the Bluecoats are tier 3. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one?
No, I don't think so yet.
I could argue you're starting to develop a new one in terms of really looking out for people. But
Yeah, when we do it, we'll get that XP.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel that we have actually the reputation, the way it's been played up in the game, like they're looking to us for help instead of the Bluecoats. That might go there. Maybe it's not yet, but I feel that we're heading more into that direction because we're not just ostentatious. We're doing stuff, right?
Yeah,
We're getting stuff done.
Yeah.
I would argue that counts as develop a new one. So
Oh.
developing.
Okay, sure.
Mhm.
Go for it.
Give you the
I'm not
XP,
arguing
I'm
about
just
that.
saying, yeah.
Never
that's
arguing against the game master.
argue all you
Also
want.
having-
It's fine. Yeah.
Also, having a new reputation is kind of nice. I mean, ostentatious is cool, but well, it's not actually why we're doing the whole stuff. We're not just doing it to pose. I mean, I might have started out that way, but
That's good. Yeah, it's development. It is what it is. Cool. And the last one is, did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? Oh, you always do this. You always do this. Is there even a question?
No.
You might as well just give the 2 XP all the time. Like, you just do it all the time. All right.
How many do we get now? I've lost count.
I've been marking them whenever it counts. So you got 4 in total.
These are crew XP, right?
Yes, this is crew XP.
Cool.
So yeah, you now have another advancement. So we'll have a think about that between now and then. But I'm gonna call this session a wrap. Thank you very much to Will, Sabine, and Callum, who we've had here first time. We had a fine time, but we'll talk about that in the debrief. I'm gonna stop recording. Goodbye, YouTube.
Bye.
Bye.